JSE-listed education player Curro Holdings released their half-year results today. For the 6 months ended June 2025, the company reported revenue coming in at 2.7 billion rand. That's up 4.7% on the year before, with their earnings per share declining by 36.1%. In the period under review, it noted that its number of learners declined by 1.4% to 71,749. Well, to take us behind the numbers, I'm joined by Cobus Loubser. He's the CEO at Curro Holdings. Thank you very much, Cobus, for joining us. So in the period under review, you indicated having achieved an average increase in fees of approximately 5.1% per learner, but also noted a decline of just over 1,000 students. How difficult was it to push through those fee increases? And to what extent is the drop in student numbers a factor of the economy and families basically not being able to manage their obligations?
Nompe, thanks for having me on the show. Yes, I mean, you've summed it up well. We have about 1,000 less learners at the beginning of this year in what I would describe as still very much a constrained environment for consumers. And so we believe the effect on learner numbers is very much a cyclical one of economic conditions. We don't think it's just going to go away overnight. And so we have looked very carefully at our fee structures for next year, and we'll be announcing that soon. But in essence, we will be containing fee increases in our primary and pre-primary schools in particular, where we have, over the last 2 years lost learners to below inflation levels for next year. And with our high schools, which continues to grow strongly, that number will be going up at about 6%. So sort of between naught and in some instances reductions in fees, but generally below 4% for next year then in primary and pre-primary. And I think you're right. I mean, families remain constrained, and that is a concern. But we think from our perspective, we're working very hard to offer exceptional education that is compelling, that delivers exceptional academic kind of value to families, but also a holistic experience filled with sports and culture and fun that helps to kind of create very, very versatile learners to take on.
Grow the individual. Yeah, so your earnings per share were down just over 36%, and you attribute this in the main to an impairment on a piece of land. Are you able to take us into confidence around what that's all about?
Yeah, so if you kind of stand back, we had a percent less learners, we had about 5% more revenue, and we generated about 10% more cash during this period. But our earnings, our profits were substantially flat on last year, EBITDA and headline earnings per share. And then on an earnings per share basis, there's the recognition of an impairment of about 74 million, which actually relates to not just one piece of land, but a number of urban. We've typically, over the last decade or so, have accumulated various properties that we hold for future school developments. And these properties have been valued. We've assessed the latest market value for them. We are in the process of selling some of those properties, and we've reassessed the potential for schools on them. And as a result, we have passed this impairment charge across those properties. It's going to be a little bit harder to recover their current book value. I think maybe worth noting also that the kind of cost of property rates on holding land is substantial, and so to kind of just hold property is expensive in itself.
Absolutely. One last thing as we run out of time, Cobus. So we've heard the news of a public benefit organization trust, which is owned by someone who's really helped to nurture Curro over the years, that is Yanni Mouton, putting in an offer for all the Curro issued shares. What are you able to share with us around how the board is handling this offer? Where to from here?
Yeah, so the process is that the offer has been announced. We have constituted an independent board who must evaluate the offer, consider the valuation, and make a recommendation to shareholders who have to then vote and approve the transaction if they so deem. Simultaneously, we have to obtain various regulatory approvals, SARS and others. And so there's still a lot that must happen over the next kind of few months. I think from perhaps our perspective, I think it's notable that the Jannie Mouton Stichting is not a competitor. It has made an offer at, I think, a substantial premium of about 60% to our share price on Monday. And I think is well aligned with our operations. So Curro has for 25 years been on a mission to extend educational opportunities to as many learners as possible. The Jannie Mouton Foundation is a public benefit organization. That's exactly the kind of thing that they are trying to achieve. And so I think we're well aligned in terms of our sort of philosophy for offering more opportunities to more learners in South Africa.
All right, Cobus, thank you so much for your time and for keeping us up to speed on your latest results. That was Cobus Loubser. He's the CEO at Curro Holdings.